Welcome back, guys. We still have with us Rumbi and my favorite girls to carry on with the conversation that we had. So, Jessica, you had a question.
Yes.
Get on to
to
it.
answer this question, and I just want a straight answer.
Yes.
You know, you're in a relationship and you're waiting to get married before you get into the main deal.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get to that point. You know, you got married, put the ring on the finger already. Now you're doing the stuff, and you realize that it's not actually what you expected.
Yeah.
What would you advise such person? What's your advice? What's your take on that?
Yeah, my take on that would be to, if you've seen something that you like about that person, just stick the course, because you can learn so much from each other. Just give each other grace to go on, and maybe that might not be their strength, but then they can do something else that will help with the marriage.
Sex is part of the relationship. It's very important.
I want to support. I
want
want to support Chico because this is
you need to support people. Look at
I can see where you're coming from in terms of, for me, like you're married to this person, so you must love them somehow, or you're in it for the wrong reasons. So I feel like give it a chance. You can work on things. There's so much to go online,
like
go
what?
canceling. There's a lot. There's toys. We won't really get into the details, but there's a lot of ways you can work around this and make it work. But if it also doesn't work, leave. If that's your biggest deal breaker.
And that's why I went back to saying what matters to you at the
what matters to
beginning.
you.
If that matters to you but does not matter to your partner, then you have that opportunity to.
You know, that's when people cheat though. You guys need to be blunt here.
All right,
if it's not working, it's not working, just leave. I prefer you to leave than cheat.
Yeah, all
because
right.
people would go and cheat. They would definitely, because that's something that they would want to satisfy. People want to satisfy their sexual urge.
Yeah.
But you can work on it.
You can work on it.
I
It
think
gets
it's not
better.
always the case though that you
Yeah,
can
it's
work
not
on
always.
it, because sometimes you're just not
Rumbi.
compatible that way. No,
guys just get
it's
me
just
alone.
not. No, I'm supporting you. I'm actually saying it's not always the case that two people are compatible in that way. And I think you need to be open-minded enough to know that sex is super important to a point where your marriage might not last because of that. How many women do you know of that small things like the idea that women don't orgasm?
Okay,
You know,
that's another topic.
Yeah.
That
So
would share another
if you're not compatible, then I guess.
And I would say teach
wouldn't
each
you guys be
other.
blunt though?
Like personally, like I'm not married, but I would say if I was in that situation, I would have already seen whatever it is that I love about that person, and that's about focusing. You know, even like in friendships, you have people that you have different friends, and there are people that you can tolerate more than others, but you still tolerate them. Those ones that you tolerate less, you still have them around because there's something about them that brings a side in you, and that's the same thing I would say.
Anyway,
Communication.
guys, I'm not going to say any more, but I know you guys know the truth here. We're just bending
If
and
that's
doing
important
this,
to
and
you, Jess.
I can see it.
All right, then we'll keep going. You can
something
see it. So, talking of sex and abstinence, is the practice obsolete? Meaning, is it given that you do not have to have sex, or you have to have sex in a relationship? Jess, I'll start with you.
I think
Because you're burning.
It's becoming more and more outdated. So I talk about like olden days and now, you know, I said people now assess relationship based on sex. Sex is part of how you decide who to be with. It's part of it, believe it or not. For a lot of people, it is part of it. So in the old days, it's okay. Your parents can go, yeah, you have to wait, you know, till you get married before you, because you have to keep your virginity. In my culture, it's actually expensive, you know, when a man comes to you and marry you, you know, like that, intact. They pay your family a really high price. So the advice they gave me when I was growing up, you have to really, but they never say that to my brother. You know what I mean? They never say it. It was always me. I think I remember at age 17, my uncle, because my dad died when I was 11, so my uncle actually took me to hospital to go check whether or not I was still a virgin. They did that to me.
That TI thing,
You know
that's
what I mean?
just messed up.
You know what I mean?
Because
Oh my
for me, like,
God.
sorry to cut you short, but like for me, the idea of being a virgin is kind of weird, because again, like how you, like the way they can test it is if you break your hymen or whatever. You can do that on a horse. You can do that on like random things. So like, how do you actually the idea to me how we think that virginity is such a huge,
Like
special.
it's gold for a woman.
It's just like, no.
And that's why it makes it so difficult to then have the conversation of being, abstaining from sex in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because if I come to a guy and I'm saying, well, I'm not a virgin, but I don't want to have sex with you, he's going to look at me like, why?
Yeah.
What's
Why?
so special? What happened?
Exactly.
Someone is already
And
like,
also culturally, how are we teaching girls to abstain from sex, but we're not teaching men the same thing? Who do you think they're sleeping with each
Exactly,
other?
my
Like, are all your sons turning gay? Like,
Yeah.
what do you think is going on? They're sleeping with women as well. So
Yeah.
we can't keep on. I think it has to be balanced. That's what I think. I think culturally, we need to teach balance. I think for me, what I would teach my children is to teach them to take their time, to know that they don't owe men their sexuality. Well, not just
Or
men,
their
actually.
bodies or
They don't owe their partner their love interest, their sexuality. They don't owe them sex. So if you're not comfortable to have sex with that person, whether you've slept with 100 people, whether you're not a virgin, whether you're a virgin, doesn't matter. If you're not ready, you're not ready, period. And they can go to somebody else if they don't want that.
I agree, because I feel like, yes, you can abstain. That's totally fine from different reasons. And for me, that's also my personal sort of perspective and my personal journey, is because I've went through so much stuff before with, like, personal stuff like sexual abuse and things like that. So then for me, I'm like, I'm not ready for this step. And then you have to respect that. Or if you don't respect it, then I'm just like, it's a done deal. Like, I walk away, you walk away. So that's my thing. People have to understand that this thing is it's someone's life, it's someone's journey, it's someone's joy, someone's sadness. It's all the emotions in one thing. So you have to really care for it.
I guess in today's world, it's becoming more and more like a norm when you say, "Oh, I'm in a relationship with someone."
Yeah, you must be having sex.
It's okay compared to the old days. In those days, like I remember when I was little, if you say, "Oh, this person and that person are having intercourse," it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's not when a woman is walking out of a man's room, you see how we hide and be looking at them like.
But you know what? I always like the aunties. The aunties who were such like badasses. They're not even bad. They were just being themselves. And they'll walk around. There's people like yelling at them, calling them names, and they're like, I don't care.
Because you shouldn't. I think you shouldn't. I think outside your own values and your own morals, no one else should tell you how to live your life and who to give yourself away to, because we all come from different experiences, like you said. So technically, it is my choice. I think that it's unfortunate that we come from a history of shaming women for giving away their sexuality and being sexually intimate with a guy, and yet we praise sons for doing the same thing. Like, if a guy comes up at 16 and he's already had sex, it's like, oh yeah.
Here's a trophy.
If a girl does the same thing.
Congratulations.
He told my brother that if he brings a son into the house, I'll take care of him and you go back to school.
And then if you were the one to bring
giving him the muscle, like,
it's like that double standard.
Excuse me. You know?
So I'm guessing what you're saying is, what you ladies are saying is, it's a choice. It's sort of, you bring up the person with the values that you want to bring them up with, but let them choose their path. It's not like it's obsolete, like you don't have to have sex, or you don't have to. You have not to. It's a personal choice, especially when you're of age. And also, like with young people, if you have a partner, it's about communicating whatever it is that, this is what I want. I'm not comfortable doing this. And I saw this very analogy of tea. Like saying, if someone comes to your house and gives you a cup of tea, and then the guest feels like they don't want to bring it, but they've asked you to make their tea, and then once you bring their tea, they taste it and they're like, I don't want it, then don't force them to take it. And that's the same thing, like with young people. They don't have to feel pushed because I've gone this far, so I have to keep going. And the same thing you said about the guy, and you like really thinking that because you're not a virgin, like I can have my way with you. It's like, no, this is my choice. I've done this before, but up to here, this is where I'm at. Respect it.
So that, just like owning that power,
Yes,
exactly.
It's your voice. It's how do you want it?
Yeah. So talking of abstinence, ladies, can sex or abstinence of sex from a relationship be like something that to measure love? Abstinence of sex, can it measure love?
I used to think so when I was much younger, because growing up like you, I was sexually abused, and growing up, I grew up in a Christian home. And we used to go to church, and literally almost all the experiences that I remember of being preached to was that, you know, the virgin girl is more precious. I can't tell you, okay, I'll give you 2 examples. One time we went to a conference, this pastor, he put two lamps of sweets. One was opened, it had like, you know, grass and whatever, and then he had one that was closed, and he asked everyone to line up. And of course, as kids, we didn't know what we're doing, so we all choose the sweets that were clean. And he gave the reference that these were the non-virgin people, and these were the virgin ones. So growing up, I always assumed that. I always thought that, you know, being a virgin was more, it made you much more worthy than being a non-virgin.
It's like a second-hand sort of thing.
You're made to feel like that when it's actually not the case.
You're second class. They used to tell us, you know, when you go into a shop and you're looking at perfumes, do you pick up the perfume that's a tester or the one that's unopened? And you know, when you're a child, you're so gullible, and you buy into that, and that's what adds to most women feeling so powerless when it comes to then having the sexual freedom to say yes or say no. So,
I said they put a price tag in my culture. I told you, if you this virgin, all right, you're $5. All right, you're $100.
And you know, women used to get tested on the wedding night. They used to wait. They used to have the white sheets.
And if you don't bleed and stuff like that.
And if you don't bleed that. And that, I feel like we've been in a culture where for women, it's been like, you need to be this way, as we have all said, like you need to be virgins, you need to be, what if you didn't consent for that to happen?
Exactly.
So it just comes to your journey and your history and where you see yourself. So I agree, like sometimes you can feel so pressured, like to do things, but thank God as you grow older you get to know
you get
better, and you get more empowered with your decisions.
I feel like young girls need to actually hear this, like that you don't have to.
Because
the aunties are still preaching the same song as we were growing up. So.
And if you meet a man that devalues you because you're no longer a virgin or because you had sex with him too quickly, so that's a boy. Leave him. Let him go back to his mom.
That's right.
And it's so funny how Jessie said, like, about an uncle like taking you to get
I know.
checked and you're on. How old were you then?
17, and 17. I was a virgin. You know, I was, but he didn't believe me. You know, because when you're hearing so many, oh, we've seen her standing with a boy over there. Oh, you know, because I was in girls' school then, high school. So he was just like, you know, what's your relationship with a boy? Like, there's not even a boy in your school. So you know, if I check you, you're not a virgin. I disown you. You know, and I was so sorry because I didn't even. I'm like, okay, what does my mom, my actual mom told me that if someone touches you, man touches you, you're this virgin. Oh my God. You know, it was all this sort of stuff. But they're confused. You just be like, oh my God. Like, how close does a guy have to be? You know.
And that's why men, I feel like it's crazy because we grow up in those environments, right? So we grow up with men who feel entitled to having a virgin, but then at the same time they're entitled to, I don't know, what's de-virginizing a girl. And then we grow up with girls that are taught to be so sexually, like, I don't know what the word is, like
to hold back,
tight. And then they get married or they get into relationships, and men always want to then go out and cheat because she wasn't freaky enough or she wasn't sexual. Where did I learn about sexual freedom? My whole life I've been getting told not to express any sexuality at all. So am I meant to magically change that once I get married? Like, how does that work? It's such an imbalance in our
I guess
culture.
the thing is with our parents, like parents from our side of culture, to learn, they need to have learned that whatever you tell your girl, you tell your boy, so that we all grow with the same standards. That way, when we meet, it's like we're coming from
equality thing, you know. But
it has to be like it has to be repeated. As much as they repeated the virgin stuff, you have to be this. You have to also repeat the same thing over and over again. And I guess what's everyone's advice to like younger girls about? Just before they get into relationships, what's your advice you would give them? For me, it's everything that we just said right now. It's like you have just go in and know that you have the power to say yes or no. You have control. It's your body, it's your life, and it's your journey. So respect it by like taking control, taking the back seat. I feel like a lot of women, we sort of go into this relationship and you take the back seat. You should be in the front seat. You're going in as a person, and they're also coming in, and you're just joining forces. You're not going in as lesser than him or Yeah.
So
That's
basically,
my
just do
advice.
what you feel.
Yeah.
Don't
I
do
would
it
say
because he
he
wants you to.
wanted,
Exactly.
or because
Or your mom
your
said-
parents said this.
No,
I
it's
feel
all
like get
about
to know
you.
yourself, as
I
you
think
ladies
so
say.
too.
Like get to know yourself as a woman. Like, is this what I want, and
Yeah.
is this what my values? Get to know what your values are,
Yeah.
and let those values guide
Your
you,
values,
because then you have
100%.
something to fall back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Rumbi? What would
I
you
think I'd
advise?
echo the same thing, really. I think for me, it's like you said, it's about having power. Know that you're powerful enough in that relationship, and you exist in that relationship as a whole. And that person should be able to consume you in your entirety. And if they can't understand you saying you don't want to have sex because of your even if you don't even have an excuse, if they can't love you like that, they need to move forward to somebody else who can love them in the way that they want to.
Absolutely.
You're not forced to sleep with somebody. And even if you do, actually, on the other hand, on the flip side, if you do want to have sex and that's what you want to do, nobody is stopping you. Do it, but then be conscious of what that creates
repercussions.
in the relationship,
Yeah.
you know, and just make sure
basically
you're
get an
careful.
education.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Be
I would also say
educated.
accountability.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like have someone to ask, like, is this, so, especially as a young person, young
Yeah.
people,
At
so
that
that you
age,
don't
they
make
don't
the
actually
same,
feel
you know, you
comfortable
have the
talking
right.
about
It's okay to make mistakes, but sometimes they say learn from
From
people
them,
who've been
yeah.
made
Yeah.
mistakes,
Yeah.
because then you won't be in that position.
Yeah.
So they can always learn from our conversations. And so thank you, ladies.
Okay.
Oh, that was such a good conversation.
Intense conversation.
I feel like I'm a prof. Do you feel the same?
You feel like you're
A
what?
prof.
What's a
A
prof?
professional.
I'm like, you see the future? Okay.
Remember we said
We're not
Yeah.
professionals.
We're not professionals by
No.
any means. We're just here to give our individual
That's
opinions.
right.
Yeah.
We're all women. We've grown up with such different
Yeah.
histories, and we're here to just share whatever it is. Rumbi, can we put you on the spot for
Oh
2
my
seconds?
God.
Yay.
If you didn't feel the pressure already.
Sure you're ready.
We should,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll just shoot some 3 questions, and we want some very quick answers, just to get to know Rumbi, right?
Okay.
All right, so Rumbi, what's a part of the body that you wouldn't mind losing?
Oh my God. What?
It's an intense.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, quickly. I would lose my. Damn, I'd lose my elbow because no one would see them.
Okay.
Don't know what
Elbow.
to think. I was gonna say toes, but then my feet would then be ugly. So
look
no.
straight.
All right, elbow it is.
Yeah, like no one would.
Okay, let's go
My
to this
hair.
other one.
Oh, no.
When did you screw everything up, but no one ever found out that it was you?
Oh God. Okay. Wow. I always own up. I suck. Yeah. I can't really lie like that. I own up to everything, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything that I've ever. Well, obviously,
as a
parents-wise.
Yeah.
Probably okay. The most that I probably did that no one ever found out about was, inshallah, Saza. I don't know what you guys call it, Shima. Yeah, and do you know Vim, the one that you used to scratch on the.
Oh, like
Vim,
Yeah,
the dishwash.
Yeah, no, but it's like the white powder stuff.
The white powder
Yeah,
stuff.
you use it to
You used to wash
scrap.
floors
Yeah,
or something.
so at some point in my life, I was really upset at my mom, and I might have cooked salsa using the Vim as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I put it in there.
She never found out.
No,
The taste was
Today.
they
like.
did eat
And you
it.
ate it?
Today.
Oh, they didn't eat it.
No, they did.
And everyone is alive?
Yeah,
Okay,
they did.
okay.
No, I didn't kill my family.
I'm joking.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least
Just
now you
like-
know that you can't die
Has she
from this.
confessed?
Yeah, have you confessed yet?
No, well, it did
Oh,
nothing.
that's a
Okay.
good place.
That's the.
Right on.
Yeah, okay, then what's the furthest that you can go without sex in a relationship?
Oh, guys, my mom and my dad are gonna watch this.
They're not listening. I'll cover you.
Wow.
It's
Can I
okay, mom.
pass?
We can
It's
pass.
okay, mom. Yeah, you
Okay,
can.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
because-
Pass.
You're not comfortable.
Yeah. Just you and
We'll have her come back, right? So that she can share that.
I'll tell you guys in secret one day.
No, don't tell us.
she can
Alright.
text us. She can text us.
Exactly,
After
I'll
this, you can
text
tell
it.
us.
Yeah.
We'll let you go.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed today's topic. Please let us know what you think by leaving your comments below. Please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. Until next time, take care. Bye.